Hello! Today we're talking about CW, which stands for continuous wave, which is also called Morse code. Let me move the camera so you guys can read that better. That doesn't have anything to do with Morse code, though. I don't know very much of Morse code. I've been self-teaching. I'm pretty self-taught at it. I can't listen to someone do it. I don't know, like, ham call signs very well. You're probably wondering, do people still use it? Is it even... Well, I should have said it's a digital mode, because it is. It's one of the first digital modes that was ever out there. And there are a fair amount of people that use it. Mostly on HF, though, which is high frequency. I can do pretty much little stuff, like I can do SOS on here. That's about it. But I don't got a lot of time today, so I just wanted to make a quick video. See you guys all later. Hello, Salem Area Two-Way Radio Group viewers. Today, the question is CB, Citizens Band, also known as 11 meters, is it used? Do people still use it? Is it something that's important? Should we never buy a CB? The answer is very hard to, like, say yes or no. Some people will say no, like a lot of ham operators. They'll be like, no, get rid of it. CB doesn't need to be used. It's not important. Other people, like me, will say, no, we should keep it. We shouldn't let the FCC take it away from us. It's a amazing way of communication. However, in my area, in Salem, there are a lot of people that use a lot of language that should not be used over any radio, but it even specifies in the FCC Part 97, I think it is. The FCC states not to use the language they use, and they use some pretty foul language. However, CB should be treated as any other radio service, a tool, not a toy. It's fun to get on there and shoot DX and skip, which is not illegal. Used to be able to not talk more than like 150 miles, I think it was. But that's changed. Now you can transmit as far as you want, or talk as far as you want, sorry. The legal frequencies for 11 meters is 26.965 and 27.405, which 26.965 is channel 1, and 27.405 is channel 40. There are some frequencies in between some of the frequencies that are called RC channels. And those were the old 27 megahertz RC remote controlled, like drones, cars, and trucks. RC ones are, that's what RC stands for, radio controlled. It's, however, it is illegal to interfere with those. It is illegal to modify your radio to do those, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there that do that, which I happen to be one of them. On a radio that I have. After a radio is modified, like a CB is modified by a legal ham operator to 10 meters, it's not legal to transmit on 11 meters anymore, even though there are a lot of people that still do it. Some 10 meter radios have been modified for that. People still do it. 12 meters is close enough in the range. You can probably get a 12 meter radio modified if it's a really wide band radio. Like, it has to be really wide band to be able to do that. 10 meters is a little bit different because the first frequency for 10 meters is 28,000, and the last frequency for 11 meters is 27.405. That's about a 0.60 megahertz difference there. It's a little bit. But back to the point that I was getting at in the video, sorry. Are there people that still use 11 meters? Yes, I do. Truckers. There are some truckers out there that still use it. Channel 17, 27.165, 27.185 is channel 19, sorry, guys, that was channel 19. There are truckers that still use it. There recently is a new mode that's been, not released, but FM mode, frequency modulation. You can now legally use frequency modulation FM mode on 11 meters. There are a lot of imported radios out there that have FM, but are not technically a legal CB 11 meter radio. I guess that's about it for today's video, folks. Can't think of anything else. If I didn't explain something well enough, please comment down below. I'm Upbeat88, Brian Engstrom, the president of SATWRG. You can email me at 88upbeat, which is 88 up beat UPBEAT at gmail.com. Sorry, guys. I always say that wrong. Have a great day, y'all. Ham radio operators are going to hate me afterwards. After this video. Most of them are. I know this. So what? Deal with it. I use CB. And I'm going to try to get other people to use it too. What is CB? Well, CB stands for Citizens Band. It's up on a frequency range of 26.965, 27.405. Some people call it the chicken band. People don't like it because there's a lot of hash and trash. But it's cool because you can shoot DX like a ham operator does. You don't have to have a license. You can talk all around the world. You can make friends that live 600 to 6,000 miles away, and you never meet them, but you in person, but you get to talk to them. Maybe if you're lucky enough, you get to meet them in person. Well, there are different types of CBs. There's base stations, mobiles, there's walkie-talkies, and I got everything. I got a base station, a mobile, and a walkie-talkie. Not trying to brag, just saying that I got it, and it's cool because of an emergency, you have it there. I will show you guys the ones I have. I co-own a few with the group and my dad, Blue Thunder 2169. Here is a base station, which I showed in another video. It's a Cobra 2000. It's upper sideband, lower sideband, AM. It even got its own big speaker. The Cobra 2000 GTL is a flagship radio of Cobra's because it has all the features it does. It has a frequency counter. It has cool needle meters, square meters, sorry. It has all these knobs, has auxiliary plug, or headphone plug, auxiliary plug. Not every radio that you see here, or that you see has a frequency counter. Some people call them freak counters, just to, shortened up. But it is really cool, especially if you don't know the radio good enough and it's modified, which this one is. This one goes up pretty high, but that's for a different video, I guess you would say. Let me go show you a mobile. It wasn't easy. I couldn't find one, so here's an AM only mobile radio. It's actually the group's. It's a Uniden AX711. Here's another one of those fancy radios. It's a realistic TRC 215 with squelch. It's a crystal radio. You You can plug in an external speaker, an external microphone. You can plug it into power. You can charge batteries if there's rechargeables in it. It has high-low power, which I would prefer running low power, especially if you're trying to save. There's an antenna port, which I can't find the adapter, so I can't show you what the port that is for. So there it is. We got base stations, mobiles, HTs, walkie-talkies, whatever you want to call them. Actually, the picture here on the website shows a man holding an HT / walkie-talkie. And if you're not a ham operator and you know ham operators and you start to get into CB, they may give you a lot of hate because not every ham operator out there loves CB, because it is just depending on where you are. There are people that just pick a channel and hash and trash. There's also other people that scan through channels and like to pick on you, and maybe you're someone watching this video that likes to do that. And please, it's not fun doing that, especially when you're trying to hold a conversation on with your friend. Maybe you're lonely enough you don't have a friend. I don't know, but yeah, that's not for today's video. But there's base stations, mobiles, HTs. You can get them fairly cheap. You can get them fairly expensive. Recently, the FCC announced that FM mode is legal to use on CB. Now, not saying for those people that have, like, you know, those, like, there's a few radios out. There's, some Galaxies that I believe, Galaxies are not technically legal for CB, but I'm not telling you not to use a modded radio. Like what the group's, website says here. Wait, sorry. Can't find it. Never mind. Guess we'll go back here. But that's about it for today's video. Talk to y'all later. Upbeat 88, Salem, Oregon, waving a hand at everyone that's watching this video. Hello, people. What is F.R.S? That's the question today. F.R.S is Family Radio Service. It's a no license radio service that is not legal to use Bofang's on. Sorry to break your bubble. If you wanted to know if you could use your brand new Bofang to do that, well, you can't. It looks like you probably can't even use your Bofangs anymore for ham radio, but that's a different video. Today we're talking about F.R.S. It's no license, half a watt, allotted half a watt. You get, I think it's like 14 channels altogether. However, these bubble wrap radios that you get, those only do half a watt because they're legal. You can use those. You can get them from Walmart. I haven't really looked any other places besides, like, I think you can get them from, like, Harbor Freight if you have a Harbor Freight in your area. Stuff like that. That's pretty much about it. F.R.S is simple and not really something I use much because you can only do 5 watts. I mean, 1 watt, sorry. No, half a watt. It's half a watt. Sorry, guys. It's half a watt. Even though you don't have to have a license, it's just not really something that, you know, perks my interest. But that's about it. Have a great day, y'all. Upbeat 88, Salem, Oregon. Here's another question. What is G.M.R.S? What does G.M.R.S stand for? General Mobile Radio Service. You have to have a license to transmit on G.M.R.S only frequencies. The least amount of wattage is 5 watts. The highest power you can run is 50 watts. They make walkie-talkies, HTs, and mobile radios that you can use the base radio for G.M.R.S. On G.M.R.S, you have to have a license. You do not have to take a test for the license. You just have to go to the FCC website and give them a whole bunch of information, including your phone number, your address, your email address, and all that stuff. It's like $30 for 10 years. On the mobile radios you can get, you can run 50 watts on high power. That's pretty cool. 5 watts power. That's a fair amount of power. Especially for a car. That's pretty cool right there. I personally don't have a G.M.R.S license. You can't get a license for the group, or I would have probably already done that a while back. But my dad has a G.M.R.S license that I can use. Your G.M.R.S license, your kids, if you have kids, your wife, if you have a wife, your mom, your dad, your immediate family can use your G.M.R.S call sign. You do not have to be right there by them all the time when they're using it. They use the call sign as it was their own. You use your call sign as, well, it is your own, so you use it as your own. You have to ID every 10 minutes. Maybe it's every 15. I think it's every 15, I think. You have to ID at the end of a conversation. There are nets on G.M.R.S depending on where you are, where you're from. I believe you can start a G.M.R.S net if you would like to in your area. Just make sure it's not interfering with a repeater that you do not have access to. I would suggest that if you know someone that owns a repeater and they have not given you permission to use their repeater, even if you know the tone, the frequency, the input frequency, and all that stuff, still, please ask them before you use it. That's what I did in my area. There's some repeaters that me and my dad use sometimes, and he got a hold of the guy and asked him, which before, and we've never gotten in trouble, and he's never been mad at us that we know of us using it. So, we use it, we have permission. I believe it is legal to buy your own FCC certified G.M.R.S repeater and set it up, as long as it's not doing any more than 50 watts. You, however, have to have your call sign go over it so they know whose it is. It is not legal to use Bofang's on G.M.R.S, F.R.S, even though I do, and there are people that do. It's not legal. But that's that. Have a great day, y'all. A B88, Sailor Morgan. Hello, people. The question today is, what is M.U.R.S? What is Multi-User Radio Service? Shortened M.U.R.S. M.U.R.S. M.U.R.S is a radio service that has designated 5 frequencies. I've done a video, I'm pretty sure I've done videos on my YouTube channel of these retivis. Some people call them retivis. I call them retivis. I'm not going to judge you if you call them retivis or retivis. Those are 5 watts. Those are FCC certified M.U.R.S radios. M.U.R.S has 5 channels. Channel 1 is on a frequency of 151.820. M.U.R.S 2 is on a frequency of 151.880. M.U.R.S channel 3 is on a frequency of 151.940. Now we're going to go up in frequency a fair amount. Channel 4 is 154.570. Channel 5 is 154.600. And legally, you do not have to have a license to transmit on these frequencies. There is no license to transmit on these frequencies. You are allotted 2 watts, no more than 2 watts, on all 5 of those frequencies. You can have an outdoor antenna. They make mobile radios that still have to be FCC certified, But they do, they do make FCC certified mobile M.U.R.S radios. This is an HT, which I did in another video. I talked about what are HTs, what are mobile radios, what are base stations, you know. Yeah, that's what that is. That's what M.U.R.S is. Have a great day, y'all. This is Upbeat 88. Welcome, as the screen says. Let's get the camera a little level here. Welcome to SATWRG YouTube channel. That's a abbreviation of it, or it's smaller. It's Salem Area Two-Way Radio Group, but that's for a different video if I make a video about that. Hi. Today we're talking about two-way radios, one-way radios. What is a one-way or a two-way radio? What is it? That's the question. Well, the group focuses more on two-way radios, not one-way radios, but we do use one-way radios. Like, the group has a radio station. I have a radio that's one-way. It transmits so far. Like what's in your car. It receives whatever's being transmitted, depending on what frequency you're on. Same way with two-way radio, except for two-way radio can transmit and receive. And there's a few different types of two-way radios. We got base station, mobile, and some people call them walkie-talkies, but they're HTs. Here is an HT. It's a Bofang UV5R. Yes, I know. People are gonna, ham radio operators that are watching this might spout off that they don't like Bofangs, but I have no problem using one. Yes, I don't have my ham license. Yes, I know it's illegal for G.M.R.S, F.R.S, and M.U.R.S, and everything else besides ham radio, which I'm finding out that some things, like the Bofangs, are not FCC certified for ham radio, but that's also another video. Here is a mobile ham radio. Right here. It's a Radio Shack HTX242. This is a mobile. You can set it up in your house as a base station. Here's a full-size base station, one from the 80s. It's a Cobra 2000. Now this is a base station. You probably could run it in your car, but it'd be kind of weird because it's so big. Some people call this a piece of furniture. Now, to use a two-way radio, you need an antenna if you want to get out very far. Not using an antenna, you can blow finals. Finals are something in the radio that if you blow them, they're kind of, some, depending on which radio they are, depending on which radio you blew the finals in, they're hard to replace. That's also another video. But what's the difference between a mobile, a base station, and an HT two-way radio? HT, Bofang here, that we just showed, does 5 watts on high power, if you're lucky. And this is a 5-watt one, so it only has 2 power settings, low and high. This can do 5 watts on high power on VHF, which I'll get into UHF and VHF in another video. And sometimes 1 to 2 watts on VHF on low power. UHF is a little higher frequency, so the power drops down. So on high power on VHF it does 2 watts on low power. UHF 4 watts on high power, 1 watt on a low power. And I believe, I could be wrong, it's been a while. I've had the, me and my dad have had this radio for a while, which is a group member, but this radio, I think I put it on a power meter and it said it was doing 6 watts on VHF, but the power meter I used is not the best of power meter, and you know, things can be deceiving. Base station, this one I showed, if you're on 11 meters, which this is a different frequency than UHF and VHF, this is HF. This Cobra 2000, which you've probably seen in my videos on my YouTube channel, and videos that my dad has posted on his YouTube channel. But Cobra 2000, legally, is only supposed to do 12 watts on sideband, 4 watts on AM. This is a base station. Plugs into AC power. You can also plug it on DC if you flip a switch on the back of the radio. This gives you 40 channels, upper, lower sideband. This radio, however, has been modified with the 3-position switch right here, and goes about 40 channels below 1 and 40 channels above channel 40, which is not legal, just to give you guys context. Technically, that radio is not legal anymore. However, if that did 28 megahertz, which is just above CB band, if you're a licensed ham operator, I'm going to use it very tightly, not loosely. People have thrown this around before. You have to be a licensed ham operator and legally have to be able, with your license, transmit on that frequency, which technicians can transmit on 28,300, 28,500. If that radio was modified and it went up to 28,300 and no higher than 28,500, and you have your technician license, you could legally transmit on that radio. Now that it's been modified, it's technically illegal. It is illegal to transmit on CB. Just like the Bofang here. It used to be that if you're a ham operator, you could literally take a doorknob. You could take a doorknob and transmit on 11, or not, on anything that your license lets you transmit on. This Bofang goes from 136.000 to 174.000 on VHF. UHF, this thing goes from 400, I think. I'm not sure. Let me look. So this thing on UHF goes from 400.000 to 520.000, which, legally, if you have a ham license and you're using a Bofang, you're only allowed to transmit, and this is Technician, General, and Extra. This radio is a dual band over VHF, UHF. You're only allowed to transmit on 144.000 to 148.000. That's on VHF. On UHF, if you have your ham license, I believe it's like 440.000 and 4, I'm not sure actually, I don't remember. I looked this stuff up a while ago, and then I decided to do the video, and I should have done some more research before doing the video. I've forgotten where you're allowed to transmit. But on 2 meters, which is in the VHF band, if you are a technician licensed ham operator, you can use 2 meter sideband, which you heard me say sideband earlier on 11 meters. Which sideband on 11 meters and sideband on 2 meters is the same thing. 2 meters UHF, VHF, and all that, those are bands. Lower sideband, upper sideband, AM, CW, CW narrow, FM are all modes. Now, if you give me a moment, now doing a quick Google search here. Amplitude modulation, AM, double sideband suppressed carrier is DSP-SC. Independent sideband is ISB. Single sideband is SSB. Compatible sideband transmission, also called amplitude modulation equivalent, AME, frequency modulation, FM mode. Phase modulation is PM mode. So now go back to where we were here. So those are just a quick Google search of most of the modes that are on radio. Now, however, this radio only does FM. The Cobra 2000 GTL I showed you guys over there, the blue radio, the base station there. Sorry, it's kind of a mess over there. That can only do AM, lower sideband, upper sideband. The mobile radio, the Radio Shack HTX 242 here, which is a VHF only radio, can only do FM mode. Unless you go in there and you modify it, and you do whatever to get it to do other modes. This VHF only Radio Shack HTX 242 is actually old enough. I'm surprised it has tone squelch, but I'll get into tone squelches and all that stuff in later videos. That can only do FM mode, which I told you guys. It can only go from 136.000 to 174.000. If you are looking at a decent HT to get yourself in to G.M.R.S, M.U.R.S, F.R.S, you won't be able to get a dual band. Having that is actually illegal. So you will have to do a lot of research, which I will find some and put some links down for them. Find some decent. They have to be FCC certified G.M.R.S, F.R.S radios for you to legally use. And if you're on frequencies that are only G.M.R.S, you can do 5 watts to 50 watts. You legally have to have a G.M.R.S call sign / license that is up to date. You can get those for about $30 on the FCC website. You do not have to take a test to get those, but that's also with another video. So, I think I've explained myself enough with two-way radio. One-way radio, I explained that too. So, I'm going to say have a great day, y'all. I'm Upbeat88, Brian Engstrom, the president of Salem Area Two-Way Radio Group. If you have questions, you can email me, and other questions for like the group or not group related, as long as they're radio related. You can email me at at88upbeat@gmail.com. I spell upbeat UPBEAT, and the email address is all over my YouTube channel and the group's YouTube channel. So, have a great day, y'all. Hello. Today we're talking about CW, which stands for continuous wave, which is also called Morse code. Let me move the camera so you guys can read that better. That doesn't have anything to do with Morse code, though. I don't know very much of Morse code. I've been self-teaching. I'm pretty self-taught at it. I can't listen to someone do it. I don't know, like, ham call signs very well. You're probably wondering, do people still use it? Is it even... Well, I should have said it's a digital mode, because it is. It's one of the first digital modes that was ever out there. And there are a fair amount of people that use it. Mostly on HF, though, which is high frequency. I can do pretty much little stuff, like I can do SOS on here. That's about it. But I don't got a lot of time today, so I just wanted to make a quick video. See you guys all later.